Hello, gamers or viewers, whoever I should call. So today I'm going to introduce a kind of try to speak upon a preview or a highlight trailer for what the direction of the future content might be for this channel because this channel is definitely is most likely getting a rebrand very soon. So it's no longer will be about astrology. It definitely will be some parts about Buddhism, mainly like on the right livelihood. So this is what I was trying to think about, because obviously with the content that brings views, it doesn't bring views, right? I will try to negotiate with YouTube and help with help from Mr. Corey Kenshin. Hopefully, he can leverage some leeway, right? I'm not saying I should be like number one YouTuber. I just want to eat. That's it. I just want enough to eat. That's it. Like the rest of the views is up to myself. But I think I should be properly compensated at least for the basic expenses and stuff. The rest of it is fun. That's why I wanted to build content and good context for the future videos. So this is what I'm trying to explore the directions, because the machines gave a more polished answer according to my tone and the direction I am planning to explore. So I've been asking myself a few simple questions, but these questions are mainly revolving around: if the Buddha said not to make a living from weapons, poisons, trafficking, intoxicants, and butchering, and what kinds of work should we encourage instead? This is a very similar sentiment to the Japan wine beer manufacturing video, with the first pilot video. Obviously, there will be more incoming to help um, elaborate and polish the remaining parts of the video and helping to elaborate and expand more of the details. But these are basically the same stuff. This is like, for example, which companies have transformed from wine companies to outline more other sectors, right? Doesn't necessarily need to be like just not sell anything, just like sell like instant noodles, sell grape juice. Even grape juice is least better than wine. This is not it is not necessarily a bad thing to like sell grape juice. Just don't sell wine. That's it. Right. So that's my kind of sentiment here. So have you ever wondered, if some jobs make the world worse, what kinds of jobs actually make the world better? That's the question, or the group of questions I've been thinking about. These questions are very important to help build a very long, maintainable, very societies that have a strong foundation. And I think YouTube, especially YouTube, won't try to violate accuse me of violating TONS on this. Not necessarily on the short videos. Short videos are maybe fine, right? These short videos are most likely to um, grab in customers, but the long videos, I will try to like be make authentic content about these kinds of topics. So for a long time, actually not that long, I've been studying for like a long time, but like it's recently started to explore this and then trying to extend and explore the right livelihood sector, right? So I kept asking myself, if we tell people not to sell weapons, then what should they build instead? If we don't want trafficking, what kind of work creates enough opportunities that fewer people are driven towards it, etc., etc. So I think that's pretty important. Machines suggested that we need to become really good at creating good things in order to create society that doesn't encourage bad livelihood. Like, for example, we don't want society to um, deal with business on drugs or poisons. Obviously not, right? But how do you like that? That's why I'm trying to encourage the inverse, right? This is what the video content is about. Not only is it does it actually create good money, right? It can create good money. It doesn't create a lot of money, but it create good money. It doesn't violate TOS, and it helps you your afterlife to make sure your afterlife never falls below humans. That is like that's a three-way that's a three-way. I think doing it on YouTube can be a real job if you try to follow right livelihood. I think that's kind of my kind of hypothesis and sentiment over here. So this is what I propose. So machines suggested that we need to become really good at creating good things. So better security, for example, better infrastructure, better healthcare, better education, better systems, and better productivity. I was hopefully, if this is wishful thinking, obviously it might not happen. It may not happen. This channel may not be monetized. It might be. I hope so. I definitely wanted to monetize at least one channel, especially this channel, which is about the right livelihood thing, which is I'm very keen on doing this to get monetized, you know. But things may happen, bad things may happen. So, but I do hope this channel can explore these questions, not for the sake of politics, not for the sake of ideology. Maybe for the sake of ideology, but at least like the ideology is definitely something like if you guys remember about Mr. Andrew Tate, and Andrew Tate is like, become a top G. This is one of the sectors to become a top G, actual top G, actually. And I'm not even kidding, like an actual top G human where you can earn as much money as you want and still get respected because reducing weapons, reducing trafficking, poisons, reducing beers, these are all really good ways. And there's like, I want to also encourage the positive um, jobs and professions and the work and the content, video content, even maybe even video content that reduces these types of things. I think that's the idea or proposal I wanted to try to do. I want this channel to explore those questions, maybe from the sake of ideology, but more importantly also from protecting the first principles. Why do people choose certain jobs? What problems are they trying to solve? Which careers actually make society stronger? Like these questions that machines suggested, for example, and how can we create a world where harmful livelihoods become less attractive because better alternatives exist? You know, I right now I don't have all the answers, and even though I used to think I have all the answers, and I still think I do have majority of the answers, but even then I don't really have. I like the it's kind of like it's a little bit embarrassing to say, but it's kind of like you almost know all the answers as a stream winner, but even then, that's a lot of answers, and then you don't even know um the answers of the non-returner or like our hardship. That's what I can tell you, right? That's what I can tell you right now. So this channel is hopefully this channel is will I will continue persisting in every video. I will strengthen or make it firm my journey to find these professions, these jobs, these maybe even these video content, any indirect help would be very charitable, admirable. If that sounds interesting to you, hopefully you can stay on our channel. So this is the end of today's preview video or highlight trailer about the future content or the direction on this channel. So thank you guys very much. Have a great evening.